I don't gloat too much when there's a success. I can give you a failure tomorrow.
What happens when a film flops?
Initially, I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, what happened?
100 people praising you, and that you might end up forgetting that. Because there's one person who criticizes you, and you'll remember that throughout your life.
People who are like just seeing each other may share great chemistry, but once they get married, the chemistry fizzles out on screen. He bullies me now. Previously, he used to be very polite.
Because I know a lot of her secrets.
Hi Vidya, hi Emraan. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
See, both of you have enjoyed a lot of success, but what happens when a film flops? How do you all deal with it?
I think it's, I had a spate of success and then my past 3 films haven't worked. So initially I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, what happened? And then I went into analysis. It took me some time. And then you figure, that there's no one reason why a film works or doesn't work. And I think time, you get on with it, and you can't brood for too long. There are other things to do. And I've asked myself, I've also, tried to figure whether anything could have been done differently. And you realize that sometimes there are things that could have been bettered by any one of us on a film.
Right.
But sometimes it's just the film doesn't work.
Right. What about you, Emraan?
I think I thank failures as much as I thank successes in my life.
Right.
If you don't have failures, you can't reflect or you can't grow.
Yeah.
I think in many cases, success also stunts you.
Really?
Failure, if you're unsure, you push yourself and something new emerges from it. And I've seen that time and time again in my career.
So are you saying you take success for granted sometimes?
I detach, and this is how I truly am. Even if you ask people around me in a film, I don't gloat too much when there's a success.
Really?
And I've told people this, I've told the press this, that, I have no answers, so don't just put this on me, successful film and all. I can give you a failure tomorrow.
At one point, you even said you don't even respond to criticism, right, Emraan?
Audience verdict is extremely important for me.
Right,
in that sense. And if they had to be critical about something, that's how we all are, right? You hear 100 people praising you, and that you might end up forgetting that. Because there's one person who criticizes you, and you'll remember that throughout your life.
So back together after Ghanchakkar. Does it make it easier when you already know somebody, when you're doing an intense love story like this one?
Actually, it doesn't really matter. Eventually, I always believe that chemistry is something that's either there or it's not there. You can't work on it. Sometimes the best of friends off screen, or even couples off screen, might not have chemistry on screen. So I don't know what that. I don't know. It's very vague.
No, you know what's interesting? Come to think of it, people who are like just seeing each other may share great chemistry, but once they get married, the chemistry fizzles out on screen.
Yeah. That's
I wonder
what they
why
say
that
generally
happens.
for most marriages that
I'm talking
in that
about
sense they say that you become more like it's the familiarity. It's after 5-6 years, it almost becomes like you're seeing a brother and sister.
Okay.
People have said that for marriages, I swear. With being
they say
familiar
couples
with
are
each
looking
other.
like each other also, right? After like
but that's after
50 years of
25
marriage.
years.
Yeah.
Those are, I think, vague concepts. They also say that for dogs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say that dogs look like their owners. I don't know. That's a weird concept. I don't think you actually start ending. You don't look like each other. How can you end up? How can your facial features change?
But you work with Emraan, our third film, right?
Yeah.
Do you see a change in him as an actor?
I think every film is different. We've been different in every film because as actors, when you're playing roles, you act and react according to the role.
Right.
So in that sense, yes, I've seen a different Emraan on this film. But personally speaking, no, I don't think. No, but actually, I think our comfort level has increased. So, he bullies me now. Previously, he used to be very polite, but he bullies me on set.
Is that true, Emraan?
There's a reason why I've started bullying her. Also, I have a certain sense of I can control things now because I know a lot of her secrets.
I also know a lot of things about you, but I would never hold you ransom. That's the only difference between you and me.
I would hold
I
you
just
ransom,
wanted to say that.
But I want your secret safe with me. It's a journalist's. They can have a field day with this stuff. I know.
Totally. जब एक फिल्म इतना intense होता है, does it drain you?
It should have, ideally, because I've come out of a lot of films feeling drained, but not this one. That really is because of Mohit.
Really?
Mohit is a kind of director who would gently goad you into feeling what you're meant to feel in the scene. He won't pressure you in any way. He's the kind of director who, if the sun was setting in a situation like that, people would say, oh my God, we're losing light, come on guys.
Yeah.
But he's the kind of guy who will say, if we lose light, we'll come back tomorrow. The moment he says that, I think it takes the stress off everyone, the cinematographer, the actors, and then things happen very swiftly. So I think he's actually very easy to work with.
In fact, you also said that when you saw Aashiqui 2, it had a real impact on you, right? And that's when you thought you want to work with Mohit. Tell us
Yeah,
about
as a
that.
matter of fact, I've never said this to a director. You know, I actually walked up to him and said, I really want to work with you. And he didn't believe me, obviously, because he thought I was just emotional after the film or something. But I got out of preview theatre and I called Bhatt Saab and I said, you know, after ages, I've come across a director who's so unafraid to explore all sides of love, of human beings, of human behavior.
Right.
He's, in that sense, Bhatt Saab and he are in the same
Same
space.
zone, that's
You know,
what,
he's
right.
much younger and he's just been making films for the past 10 years. And the next thing I know is Bhatt Saab called me a month later saying, I have a story.
Which he was writing, so
Yeah, he said, I've written the story. I'll narrate it to you. If you like it, then we'll work on the script. We want Emraan and you to be in the film and Mohit will direct it. And I was like,
Super.
you know, neki aur pooch pooch.
Mukesh Bhatt says you might get a national award for this role.
I love him for that. That's very kind of him.
Yeah.
But I think all of us have given our hearts and souls to this film, you know, so I think it's going to stir people.
Yeah. Imran, how much awards mean to you? Is that more important
so
as what
much.
the audience really says about it? Is that the ultimate
I
recognition?
think it's more for me is the reward is how the audience endorses the film. I've not done it in the past couple of films, but I used to go watch my films in a single screen.
Oh, really?
I used to go to Gaiety and sit
Wow.
behind and watch my films and get a feedback, and you get a very honest feedback from there.
Yeah,
you
you
can
get the
hear them
real pulse.
abuse. You can hear them abuse if the thing isn't working well.
Oh,
I think
really?
that's film school for me.
Have you
That's the
faced that?
best thing.
Have you heard that?
I have heard that. I won't tell you which film, but I've heard that. I've heard praise. I've heard a whole hall go ballistic for like 5 minutes. You can't hear dialogue.
Wow.
So that is as harsh as it gets for a film school for me. There's a person who is trying to make ends meet and he puts his hand in his pocket, his hard-earned money, and he draws from that and buys a film ticket. And I think that is unpurchasable. That opinion is unpurchasable in a cinema hall.
Yeah.
So it's those
Oh, well
echoes
said.
that I
Yeah.
kind of live for in a cinema hall. You know, we praise or
But I must tell you
taunts.
that this film is very special for Emraan. And I know it because he's watched the film before release, which he never does.
Oh, really?
You know, I was like, I fell off my chair when I heard that.
It's one of those few films that I would want to watch again and again. It'd definitely be one of those films that can look back and just be proud of, you know.
It was super talking to both of you. Thank you so much, Vidya.
Thank you.
Thank you so
much,
much.
Emraan.
Thank you.